Good evening, folks. Another edition of Wins Life.
Yes.
Taking a tour and a ride into Manchester city centre. I'm on a ride. Got to go to work this evening. So, just taking a little journey out busy Manchester city centre. Manchester is. Rush hour time. People in the park. Weather's quite mild, you know. Wednesday evening. As you can see, it's rush hour time. 4 o'clock finger. Ice cream man's out in the park. The weather's, you know what? The weather's got a bit chill in the air, but you know what? It's still quite warm. So I'm taking a nice stroll through the city to my destination. People in the park. Having people make me laugh at the weather. It's going to rain, you know, you can tell. Pigeons all over the place. Hospital staff coming home from the shifts. People coming home from uni. Some are on holiday from uni. Kids are going back to school. Manchester city centre, busy. Buses everywhere. This is just end of Easter. It's changed city this man. You know. It's nowhere near as nice as it used to be at Denmark Road. Right now on Oxford Road. On the footpath. All the shops have gone along the front here. Yeah. Once busy with banks and all sorts of stuff. You're lucky to find one bank on Oxford Road now, where the hospital used to be. One time we used to queue outside this branch here. Hospital down there. This is where main student buildings are. A lot of students go along here. Go past. Go past, mate. Well, the worst thing I can't stand the city centre at the moment is the food delivery drivers. When you're coming home, these food drivers don't beep, just barge past you, and they're going to knock someone off their bikes one day. I hope it's not me. I'm going to cut this way for uni. Just going to go and see my friend Big Tony a second. Old university, old buildings. That's where all the bodies are. All the bodies that when people die, donate to the university in that building there. He had a happy smiling face, didn't he? Security guards. It's not about security guards, they just seem like they never smile. Maybe because it's a long shift that they do. You know, 7 while 7 or 4 on 4 off. This used to be a nightclub called, this was Jabez Clegg on Portsmouth Street. There's the entrance. That was once known as Jabez Clegg. Busy nightclub, student nightclub also. Had lots of events as well. Jabez Clegg, or what they call it. Jabez Clegg, Dover Street. They've actually got an optician around here. I go to University Optician. I go to that one around the corner of here. Yes, it's the complex has changed. Everywhere in Manchester's changed. And this is part of the complex now. This used to be Brunswick Street, where all these bushes are now. This was that building there, Simon Building, and Mum used to work in that building over there. But this complex here, this was Brunswick Street for a few years, so about 4 or 5 years ago. This was Brunswick Street. Yeah, this is Brunswick Street. Yeah, I used to park your car on the side there and drive straight down to Ardwick Green, and that was called Brunswick Street. So I'll change now. Got so many buildings going up. You're lost. You know, people are just lost. Because to be truthful, you don't even know where you're going. To be honest, it's just changed. Everywhere's just changed. It's no longer Manchester, where people from Manchester came from. There's my friend Big Tony here. He's just going home. Hey Tony, what time is it? 20 past. My friend Tony was just about to leave. Big Tony. 20 past. There he is, Big Tony. Hey Tony. There you go. Cheers, brother. Alright. Yeah man. You finished now, you got on now, yeah? Yeah. Yeah. My friend Big Tony. He's on his way home. Yes, Tony. Yeah, Tony's going home. I'm getting to work because I'm on a late this week. Not looking forward to it at all. That's University campus. A lot of campuses down here. Changed a lot. Well, this was Brunswick. See that, Tony? This was where Brunswick Street used to come up through. Right here. You remember Brunswick Street, anybody? Right here was Brunswick Street. And it still is called Brunswick Street. But it's only the thing about it, it's just that it's just been cut off. But that's still Brunswick Street down there. Ardwick Green. As I said, Manchester's so busy. Tyrell. Your best bet to go to Manchester, if you go to Manchester, is to go on the outskirts. Is to go like down the old subways that still exist. That was once Mercedes. Once Mercedes garage. Yeah. Everywhere's changed now. Changing up. Yeah, that was Mercedes garage one time. Sorry, Citroen. Sorry, that was a Citroen garage, so Mercedes was next door. And now, everywhere you go, just big massive buildings. I tell you, literally some of these buildings are literally not even a year and a half old. You know what I mean? Building brand new mezzanines to Manchester University. And annexes, new annexes. And then lots of the old stuff is like, it looks old, but it still looks brilliant. There's the old chapel church there. Yeah. So I'm going to hit the city centre. Not that I want to go here, but I've got no choice. Cars everywhere. There's cars all over the place. And I really, really hate the city centre now, Manchester. It's just not a nice place. It's just changed, not for the best. I think it's changed for the worse. Because people nowadays in Manchester City Centre, it's like an influx of people from down south who come to Manchester. A lot of Chinese people bought the big massive flats and stuff. So basically you say hello to somebody, people just walk past you. Where a few years ago in Manchester, as you know, back in the 80s, 90s, 70s, when we were born, like me, I'm over a young man, 80s, 90s. But people that back in them days were like, they were a good laugh. Really good laugh. 50 bus still goes through. All these old places here, man. It's still there. That's Hardwick over there, old Hardwick, new Hardwick. You know, it's a shame that place has changed so much. You replace the old with the new. Something new you can't understand because you have to use passes to get into buildings, passes to get into lifts, passes to open a door, passes to do everything. What the flipping hell? Why have you got to use so many passes to do so many things? Look at the motorway building up, people going home. This is the old part of Hardwick, 70s, but this is where the subways are, the old subways, which I find fascinating. You can't beat the old subways, you know, I tell you can't beat the old subways. You know, obviously the council, this is the old subway here, obviously the council don't really do much with subways anymore, they leave them, but to be truthful, the subways are vital. It's a vital passage for a lot of people come from work, a lot of students. Hey, there's this old path. But down there, there's the old five-a-side pitch up there, still working. Part of the Sugden Centre. There's the old subway, you see it there? And this is why I'm fascinated with the old subways, not the old car parks. You know? This is owned by, this is part of the university, you know. It's all pastel here, at least the city centre. Mazda building. Behind the Mazda building, who remembers UMIST? Manchester, the UMIST. Used to play in the UMIST, get chased by the security guards back in the day. That building was there. The whole building was there. And also down the bottom, that place where I'm going to go past now, it's called a Swinging Sporran. That's the first time I ever got in trouble in my life. Me and a mate of mine was in there. And we were playing the fruit machine. And the manager said we'd run the race. And my mate didn't like it at the time. This is all the new buildings that had gone up through the last 10 years. Well, that was a Swinging Sporran. And we decided to try to take a few little bits out of there, like cigarettes. I didn't smoke, but my mate did. And locked the door on us, and we got arrested in there. That was a Swinging Sporran before the car park was there. That's called a Swinging Sporran, Sackville Street. And there's the old UMIST, it's still here. The old UMIST was down there, if you remember. And the nightclub, the UMIST nightclub was down the road. Yeah. This is Sackville Street, but this is UMIST side. This is one of the main parts where the students go to. You know? And there's Granby Road. This is where on this road here, I did my YTS. On this road, Granby Road, Manchester. You know, old Granby Road. I'm on my bike, by the way, that's why I'm moving around. Buildings flying everywhere. You know, that's just Sackville Street old building. That just closed down the other day. Brilliant building, you know. Fascinating old buildings, man. Partly, I think that building's been bought by a massive Chinese company. We're going to turn it into luxury flats. Apparently, it's going to be flats. It's going to go in for like 250 grand because, as you know, it's on the border of town. And there's old Sheena Simon College over there. I attended there for about 2 years, Sheena Simon. At Sheena Simon College. Busy Manchester, people going home. Yeah. There's the old Sheena Simon College. It's still there. Sheena Simon Colleges. Right there. And as I'm approaching now, I'm approaching Manchester's gay area, called Canal Street. It's up busy streets. This is Canal Street. Very, very busy, as you would expect. You know, lots of it. Still got the old Tuckies there. You've got this narrow road going through. A bike can squeeze through. Oh, what's the crash? And as you know, the famous Charlton Street bus station, still here. I can remember when I was a kid, that place called Thompson's Bar. I remember we were doing Penny for the Guy years ago, and I mean years ago, we were doing Penny for the Guy. Inside there. And to be truthful, you see loads of men coming out of there. And we didn't know, at the time, we didn't know what the gay community really was back then. But apparently it must have been big back then, because I remember seeing loads of guys. Obviously when you're a young kid, you don't really know. I didn't know what it meant. But some of the guys used to give us back then, £1 or £2, which was a lot of money. You know, some used to tell us to fuck off. Somebody said to you, stop begging. But quite a lot of people were very friendly. And we used to do Penny for the Guy in town, on Oxford Road. You know? This is Portland Street, Manchester. Portland Street. It's one of Manchester's busy streets. From 5 o'clock, it becomes horrendous. People's coming home, commuting home. No, it becomes horrendous. I can go for the lights now with the bicycle, and I'll go straight across. Right here. Then I go through. I'm going through the city centre, approaching Chinatown. Manchester's Chinatown. Very, very old Chinatown. I can remember as a young child, we used to come down the old streets, the back of the Odeon Cinema. And I always remember the guys chopping onions and all sorts. I think it might have been this street here, James Street. Them old alleyways where all this, just with bags of rice outside and stuff. And used to get a lot of the old guys chopping stuff, you know. And this street leads down to the Odeon Cinema, back of the Odeon Cinema. You know what I mean, back there. But this is Manchester's Chinatown, you know. As you know, it's always been big, always been busy. I could always remember. I could always remember. I could always remember on a Sunday, the arcades, how busy the arcades were on a Sunday. And the kids used to have the best part of the Chinatown. I can always remember on a Sunday when the arcades on Oxford Road, when arcades were packed with families, with children, with the best clothes on, and they were playing the arcade machines like no tomorrow. There used to be 3 arcades on Oxford Road down there. 3 arcades down there. And I mean, they were jammed to the rafters, facing Tropicana nightclub. And across the road was Rotters and also Gillies. And Sunday was always busy. And there was always a chippy facing Rotters. Chinese chippy that's spelt at the best chips and gravy. There's a casino still there. Yeah. So Chinatown still prospering, still busy. People just going about the business, coming up from work. Chinatown has a lot of stuff. You know? And ride on. Next destination. Camera's a bit wonky. Seven Oaks. Pub is still there in Manchester. The Seven Oak Pub. And it's good to see people still going into Manchester, but the bars are packed. You know what I mean? It's Wednesday. The bars are packed. What I hate most about Manchester is the tram lines. Oh my Lord, I hate them. You never know. You're always thinking, what's going to come out? The tram's coming or not. Tram lines. It's always dangerous, these tram lines. I think big mistake Manchester made when they built the tram lines. All these posh bars, very posh bars, posh. This is more the posh end of getting to the posh end of Manchester. Posh. But people look at you like you're nothing, because they think that they've got money and you are basically nothing. See a guy on a phone filming, you know? But this is more like going towards Deansgate, where people still look down on you in many ways, you know? And this is why some parts of Manchester is still very stuck up. But you can tell because remember, I've lived here most of my life, all my life. I was born and bred in Manchester, and you know people who are not from Manchester. You can tell because they don't behave like. Like if you see me, I'll say hello to anybody. I'm pleasant. Some people see you and look at you like you're gonna mug them. And it's not because you're black. It's because you don't fit their category. Fight Club. I used to go in there years ago. Fight Club. When it used to be like an R&B bar back in the day. This is old Brown Street. Lots of good clubs. Good clubs around here. We used to attend a lot of clubs down here. That club called the Black Cat. That was one of our regular nights. My mate Pete Williams, he knows all the names of these clubs. And we used to go to this bar here called the Black Cat Club. This is that club there called the Black Cat Club. Peter will tell me the name of that club. We used to go there downstairs, and it was one of the favourite haunts on a Friday night. Yeah, one of the favourite haunts on a Friday night. Yeah. And then Lincoln was on the door. Lincoln Bell was on the door. Lincoln was on the door. Lincoln Bell was on the door. Marriott's Court. This is where the old post office was. By the way, the post office has been knocked down. Not knocked down, closed down, sorry. And it's going to be opened by Bet365. I'm going to buy it, apparently. Turn into offices, office space. That place there. And as you know, you've got the Arndale there in front of you. Onto the Arndale. And it's, you know, it's all changed. I think town is no longer for the poor man. I think people in Manchester are very, very stuck up. Especially if you go around places like Spinningfield, all them areas. You know, back of Deansgate where all these posh wine bars are, all the footballers go. And that's why I don't work. I used to work on the doors. I don't go to anywhere around there really anymore. I want to do a video around there. But Manchester's changed a lot. Just about seen the Arndale there. As you know, the Arndale's been there for years. The bombing, survived the bombing. They actually put it all up. Made it. It's supposed to be nice inside. I've been there twice. Been inside there twice in about 10 years. The Arndale Centre. Just not my cup of tea town. But yeah, guys, please like and subscribe my video. Please share. If you think Manchester's changed, let me know in the comments at the bottom. I think it's changed a hell of a amount. I don't think it's the same as it used to be. I think a lot of people in Manchester have changed. People look at you as, like this guy, security guard over there in that shop there. There. He's looking at me. But I can always remember before all these shops here, music shops, used to have the underground market, used to sell music, Eastern Bloc Records, used to go and buy tapes and all sorts from the record shop. Just pay like £5 or £3, you get a good tape done, you get a record done, white label records, everything you could get before the move to Oldham Road. Underground market was superb. And that's where we all used to go, underground market. We used to go there, Arndale. And used to be arcade machines in the Arndale. And we used to always go and play in the arcade with all the guys from Oldham and everywhere. Obviously that's changed now, it's changed a lot. But this is Manchester, some of it for you. It's very, very big. I'm going to take my videos to a probably different part of the areas now. We've done Manchester quite a bit. But I've still got a bit more to do in Manchester. So guys, please like and subscribe to my videos. And please share the comments. I'm Winnie. Have a good day, guys. Look after yourself. Peace and love.